we can. All right, good evening and welcome everybody. If you can look around, you will see that the class size has reduced. And just like I said from the beginning, right, the class size will not be the way it is. And I made it obvious. I was sounding it from the very first day so that it's not when we get to this point, some people would say they did not know, right? And I also try to provide enough support to everybody as much as I can, as my team could, right? And we've tried to carry the people we could carry along. The class size here is, I think, 14. The people who made it to this stage. So you could see that from 40 something that started, we have just 14. What we're even estimating was 20, but we were not going to reduce our the criteria just to admit some people. So we have 14 people who could meet up with the pace, right? Because even as at 6 p.m. today, I was still sorting stuff just to be sure that some people scale through, or to be sure that nobody's question is unanswered and all that. So that said, this is the set of people we have now. A group link would be sent. Everybody is supposed to join that group on WhatsApp. So there we can now have more one-on-one interaction as a group, all right? So today, first stage of this training, we talked about content writing. So we're talking about content writing and a bit of it. Tomorrow's class, we're going to do a revision of some of the contents we've written. Some people still have areas where they are lagging in terms of the content writing. So we need to also straighten that up. Tomorrow's class, that's what we're going to do. And then the other stuff we're going to discuss. So today we're going to be doing introduction to SEO. What are SEO ranking factors? When you hear of SEO, what is SEO? You already know by now that SEO means, or is short for search engine optimization. And there are those set of things you do to help pages on a website or a blog to be discoverable by search engines. So the way you tend to create, in the word optimization means you're improving something or making it more, you're harnessing that thing to the fullest. So the way you harness a page or a website so that search engines can find it on the web, can rank it, and can present its content. So I'm going to run because okay, so here's what we're going to cover today. The introduction, which I've done, recap of last classes. So in the last classes, we've talked about content writing. We talked about how to research content, how to research SEO content, how to write different content types, and also we talked about how to, what's it called now? How to discover your niche, how to pick your niche. So those were the things we talked about. And if we still have questions regarding any of these things we discussed in the previous classes, tomorrow is a revision class. So that would, you have the opportunity to ask all the questions you have to ask with that respect. In what is going to be covered in this class. So in this class, we're going to be talking basically on search engine, what search engine is, search engine optimization is, how contents are ranked on search engine, what are the things that make contents to rank, right? Those are the things we're going to discuss. So the objective of this class is that at the end of this class, we want every one of you to understand what makes content rank, so that when you are browsing and you do a search word and you see some pages that make it to the top of the pages of Google search engine or any other search engine, you can have an idea of what made those contents to pop up or to be at those positions there, right? So how does search engine optimization work? So I'm just going to do I'm going to remove this so that I could just show you guys something. So how does search engine optimization work? So take it like search engine is like a huge encyclopedia, right? A huge encyclopedia that stores all the words information, right? That stores all the words information. So when Google was trying to build their search engine, their intent was to gather all of the words information so that people could search them, people could find them. Now, when people can search and find them, the next question is there are certain kind of questions or information that they were in a bit absolute. Let's say, for instance, who if I do a search, who is the tallest man in the world, right? This is always going to be easy to know who the tallest man in the world is, right? So it's just going to be, and this is already stored. So the information will just be there and it doesn't change unless this person goes and another person has to come up, right? So another thing is what is the tallest building in the world, right? So this again is like a question that has an absolute answer. So for instance, you're seeing different buildings and they're different heights. So Burj Khalifa will always be the tallest as at 2024, and the height would always be this until they build another one that is higher than this. So all these searches are kind of absolute, right? It doesn't change, right? It doesn't change. It's always going to be this. It's always going to be this. So where you now start, so all of this information, Google started first by compiling them. These were done by checking different websites that has all of this information. And then there's something for each website they go to, they started giving or equating something we called a ranking factor to each of those websites. So if your website is found to be giving comprehensive or truthful information, they assign a ranking factor to your website, right? We're going to discuss about that later on. So then later, when they have archived all of this information, right? So you know that as they are taking all this information, they're archiving it in the beginning. So it got to the point where they were to now look for other informations that were not really absolute, but were kind of relative. Do you understand? So for instance, when you now come to question like, where is the best bowling spot in Port Harcourt, right? Now, the answer to this now, it starts becoming relative, right? So in relative to different terms, right? What are the things you have used to make or to judge to say this ball spot is the best spot? And this is also how you think of it when you're writing a content. If you're writing a top 10 content or a how-to content, sorry, let's use top 10 content, like let's say top 10 best ball spots in Port Harcourt. What is your basis for picking this, or what factors did you consider before making up these things? What happens most of the time is that people just go online, see what is already there, they just copy and paste. In somewhere in my slide today, you're going to see why those things don't work again. Before it used to work, now it doesn't work anymore. So you, as the writer, you're going to be thinking, what are my criteria for picking the best? Is it that the sports that has more amounts of, like, more number of people per day? Is that how I'm going to equate it? So if your basis for deciding the best bowler sport is how many people visit that place per day, because of course the judgment will not be, if more people are going to visit this place, it means either they are doing their bowler properly and people are enjoying it, right? Another ranking criteria could not be how much does each bowler sport make per day? You understand? Another factor could now be how many shops do they have scattered around Port Harcourt? So if, for instance, we have a Port Harcourt Bole, and Port Harcourt Bole is saying they're the best Bole, so you now look how many places do they cover in Port Harcourt? It could now give you. So it's the same way too that search engines work, right? If you're saying that this page, the content you have on this page is the correct content, what the search engines are looking for is how many other websites are referencing your own page to say that this site, what it has is correct. You understand? Now it helps that algorithm to add a ranking factor to you. So all these kind of stuffs now that are kind of relative, you understand, the search engine now begins to generate ways to decide if great. So all of those things. So Google will now, the algorithm are pretty much the same way Google algorithm works. So you'll be wondering, why are we using only Google for all the analysis we're making? You understand? We're using them because they're the biggest guys. More of the people use them. More searchers in the world use Google for their searches than Binge, and also Binge and the others, Yahoo and all the other search engines, they kind of follow similar patterns and similar criteria, you understand? So it's more like citation. How well are people citing your page or what you have on your pages, right? That's how it's going to be looking. So that is how SEO works. So SEO works by Google search engine works in a way where it's looking for the words information, archiving them. So if you write a content today on best bole, and all of us, the 15 of us on this call, we write a content on best bole in River State, right? Or in Port Harcourt, what the search engines will come, they will crawl our sites and they will take it as a page. They will copy it, like they will save the link. They will save all our links. Let's just assume is link. They will save all our link. They'll create a file, right? And save all our links in that place. Now, anytime somebody does a search, best bowler spot in Port Harcourt, what the algorithms will now go, it will go to that its archive where it has all of the information of everybody that's written about best bowler. It will now go to that place. Now, the next thing it will now look, okay, I have all of this information from the past. Even more people are writing. How am I going to now pick the ones that will come out in the first pages? Now, it will now begin to use some criterias you get, which are called ranking factors. And that is part of the things we're going to discuss in full details. So when it has archived, the very first thing the search engine does when you write a content first is to come and crawl your site. So we call them crawlers or spiders, page spiders or crawlers. They'll just come. What it means is that they are reading your site. They are reading the HTML codes to know what the site is about. Then they will store your data. So the next thing, after storing that, the next thing it will now do in the next time when somebody does a search is now to use each ranking factor to decide what page your content will appear in. So that's the brief. Let's go to the next. So that's the brief how SEO works. So according to Ovelo, 84% of Google searchers use Google at least 3 times daily. So whether you like it or not, you go to Google to make one search, to make at least 3 search a day. And Google on its own receives 89.3 billion searches per month. And then Google receives 8.5 billion searches daily. Now, what you're asking or what you'll be asking is, how can I develop myself in a way that I can write content with all of these searches that happen in a day? I can write content either for myself or for brands that I work with that they appear on search engines with all of these searches that happen globally. How am I going to position myself that the stuff I write at least should be among the ones that would be archived and come out in the first pages of search engines, right? So that is what you're going to be thinking. So, but before we go to that, let's also understand some terms when it comes to SEO so that when you're hearing them, you don't get lost. there's something we call a keyword. So you know, when I did the search, best, where is the best bullet spot in Port Harcourt? In this search, this word becomes the keyword or key phrase. Now, initially, we had things, when we had things like, let's say, best marketing site, right? This is the keyword, right? Or the keyword here is marketing. Okay, so I was trying to explain what keyword and key phrases are, and I'm saying that in a search like this is called a key phrase, right? That thing you put into a search engine to get results is usually called a key phrase. But inside of that key phrase, there is a keyword, right? So you, as a writer, Port Harcourt is not the key word in this search. The keyword here is bullet sports, right? In this key phrase, best marketing site, the keyword here is marketing site, right? Or depending on what you judge that by. So, but it's usually marketing site or marketing, as the case may be. So that is what keyword means, right? So we've understood what keywords means. The other thing is backlink. So I think I explained this one in a previous class. So I'm just going to open a page. Backlinks are any active links that are clickable, that helps you navigate between one page on the web and another page on the web. So you can write that down. You can understand that as simple as it is. So backlinks are active. So because some, you can have a link in a page, but it's not active. So when it means active is that it is clickable. You understand? If it's not clickable, what that means is that if you can't click and it takes you, so as you can see, this is active, right? So far you can click and it take you to another site. It's a backlink. So we have two types of backlink. We have internal and external. Internal backlinks are the ones that keep you within a website. External backlinks are the ones that take you from one website to another website. Does that make sense? Is that clear enough?
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right, great. So we understand what internal and external backlinks are. So the next thing, meta description. So meta description are these things. You know, when you do a Google search, you see this thing that is here. It's called the meta description. In the stage 3 of this training, where we're going to be talking about blogging, you will see how these things are inserted in a content before it's published. So that when people are making searches, see all these things you're reading here, they're called meta description, right? So this is the meta description. It's also a way to help you tell the algorithms what a content is about. These things here, they are meta description. Do you understand? Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the next is rich snippets. So rich snippets before.
Sorry, sir.
Masco.
The log out. So I was trying to use my phone to log in. Sorry, I'm going to log out now.
Okay. I'm not supposed, at any given time, we're not supposed to have more than 16. Okay, so that said, we now know what which meta tags, which snippets. So meta description, meta tags, they are also, you will see them in a, what's it called, blogging site, but they are related to that meta description, right? So they are like the link part of, they are the link, you understand? So heading tags, I told us what heading tags are, or headers, as the case may be. Some people call heading tags, some people call them headers. So some call it heading tag because it's kind of used to tag something. So all these things here, so they are all relevant because when writing content, these are headings. right? Or heading tags, as some people call it. So they are all relevant for SEO. They're all relevant for SEO. Keyword difficulty. So keyword difficulty, we're going to look at this by the third class in this stage. So it tells you how tough a particular keyword you want to write on. I already told you people what the meaning of keywords. So something like this is a keyword. So how difficult is it for you to rank for this kind of keyword? You understand? So that's what is called keyword difficulty. So as a quick explanation, this particular keyword, best marketing site, if you want to write a content on this, or if maybe a company has given you this content to write on, you can just do a quick overview of that content, and you can give them a quick feedback to say, see, your website is not, your website authority is not strong enough to compete for this keyword. You get, these are some of the things we're going to look at in the next class. Or is strong enough to compete for this keyword. You understand? So keywords like resume. You want to write the content about it. You want to write the title of the content is resume. You're going to be competing with guys like Indeed.com, Glassdoor. You get Jobberman, sites that have been in the business for years, and you're just starting your website or your blog which day, and you want to compete with them. You don't have that authority to compete with them. So keyword authority is keyword difficulty. Page authority is the authority factor that's been given to a particular website, or a particular page. So we have site authority and page authority. So for instance, I'm using a tool called Moz. For all of you that have system, by next class, I think, not the revision class, you guys are going to install this Moz. I don't know if you can see it on my system because it's currently on. Okay, you should be able to see it. So this particular page authority on our website is 25. You get why the domain authority here is 22. You understand? So domain authority is the same as websites or page website authority. Why page authority is just for this page. Domain is for this whole domain, the Fasthire. So a domain is, for instance, the domain here is thefasthire.org. This is the domain. Look at this cursor here. This is the domain. When you go to jobberman.com, jobberman.com is the domain, right? So I did not spell that way. Sorry. So jobberman.com is the domain. So what is the authority of this domain? We're going to find out what the authority of what Jobberman's domain authority is, and what is it. So Jobberman's domain authority is 53. I think this is not correct in a way, or this is below what it is. Jobberman's domain authority, but this is just like you're just going to give you an idea, right? So I've explained keyword authority, page authority, site authority. Search volume is how many searches does a particular keyword get in a month. You understand? That's what is search volume. So most times when we go into deeper part of this, you now understand why people want to look for or want to write content around contents that get large search volume. So words like Davido and Chioma. Davido and Chioma is a search phrase, is a key phrase, all right, or is a keyword you get. So it gets a lot of, so in a month or in 2 months, everybody is looking for what's happening in Davido and Chioma's life. So people want to be, all these entertainment bloggers want to be writing about them. Now, same thing, we have stuff like Ronaldinho, Messi, Ronaldo, you understand? Ronaldo goes, you get all those kind of conversations. So search volume, you check how many searches does that keyword or key phrase get in a month. It will help direct you on how to write the content for them. So SEO, I already explained what SEO is, and SEO tools. SEO tools are those tools that help you do your SEO better or get better as your SEO. So we have a couple of them. There's Moz. which is the one I told you I'm using now to check for different page ranking factors. There's ranking authority, there's Uber Suggest, there's Answer the Public, there's Ahref, there's SEMrush, there's Longtail keywords, there are a lot of them. Even Google Keyword Planner is an SEO tool, right? So Black Hat SEO are those SEO techniques that are against Google's policy. So there are people who develop different techniques where they used to game. You remember that this algorithm is a mathematical, what's it called? Command. Is a command that has already been written to guide the algorithms to know which content to rank in number one or number two. So over and over, people try to look for ways to game the system. You understand? It's always there. Even people who play games, once in a while, you see people trying to find way to hack the game and find cheat codes. So Black Hat SEO are cheat codes that help your content rank higher. But the challenge is that after a while, once you finish doing that, once the algorithms of Google catch you, they can just delist your site. So you want to avoid every Black Hat SEO. White Hat SEO is the right way of using custom user-first content to promote your website on the web. So we have E.E.A.T and E.E.A.T. So before it used to be E.E.A.T, which is expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. So it's also a way which the Google Rank Brain uses to rank content on the website. So they want to look at the expertise of the person that wrote the content, the authority of the website or the person that wrote it, and then the trustworthiness. So for instance, if a doctor of psychology writes something on how the human brain works, and a random Richard, who is a Stevie writer, or a human resource personnel writes how the brain works, you get with the name of that person, that doctor of philosophy attached to the content as written by, you know, that place where you have written by, if the name of the doctor is put there, written by, let's say, Dr. Philo, whatever, and that Dr. Philo's name, when searched on the web, can show like it's credible, you see all the research work he has done. There is no way that my own content would outrank his content, even if it does after a while, because of the authoritativeness of the person who wrote the content or the organization, it's going to outrank mine. Another thing would be the website. If we're writing economic terms that can help or countries grow, I write economic terms that can help countries and post it on Fasthire's website, and somebody writes a content, economic terms that help countries grow, and post it on Forbes website. Because of the authoritativeness of that platform, Forbes website is going to outrank my own. So that is what E.A.T and So in E.E.A.T, the only difference now is experience added to it. So in E.A.T is expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. In E.E.A.T is experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. You understand? So we know that in a way, expertise and experience are kind of related, even though they are not totally the same. But I know we get it. So long tail keywords and versus head keywords, I already explained that to you guys. So for if somebody does a search, best marketing website, so best marketing website is like a head keyword because it's not too long. But long tail keywords are more like questions. You take them like that, and because maybe your site is a small site and you want to have more opportunities to write. Content gaps are areas where in a topic that people have not covered. You understand? Let's say, for instance, people are talking about how to become your own boss. You understand? And people haven't really talked about the detriments of becoming your own boss. Is a content gap because everybody's busy writing how to become your own boss, how to become your own boss. You now wake up and say, okay, since everybody's talking about advantages of becoming your own boss, me, I want to write about the disadvantages of becoming your own boss. So sometimes you want to look at content gaps, areas where people have been writing and writing, but they have not covered certain conversations. So we're going to write. So old ranking factors, what were those things that used to make websites rank? Even though some of them still work today, but we need to just see all of them that used to be in the past. Number one, word length. The amount of words that used to be on your page determines, because then you hear people write contents of 2,000 words, 3,000 words, because the content, we found out that longer content gave the algorithm the impression that we have covered enough conversation in the content that can give anybody coming enough information that they need, you understand? But sadly, it's not as it is. Word length is not the way it used to be before, but word length used to be a serious ranking factor in the past. Meta description, the meta description you write on your content, how did you describe the content for people who are viewing? You understand, used to be a ranking factor. The backlinks on your site, how many backlinks? I already told us how backlinks work. Backlinks are like authority that other sites are passing to your site to say, oh, this content is valuable. So having a lot of backlinks then used to be a ranking factor. It's still today, but some things have tweaked a bit. Page loading speed. How fast does your page load? If your page does not load fast, because Google also does not want to keep its customers waiting. So if you have a site and your site does not load very fast, and anytime Google brings people or suggests your page, they click your page, it's taking time before it loads, Google will stop showing your page. So keyword stuffing, you get the keyword. We already know what keyword means now, or key phrase. Then in the past, people used to stuff it and it would just get all over everywhere. You get, before it used to be a way to game the algorithm, but now most of those things don't work the way it used to work. Copying competitors, you get, just go online, see what competitors have done, just take it and then maybe add more information to it to make it more bulky. Before it used to work, you get keyword difficulty. Then people used to look for keywords that were low in competition, like that had a low difficulty. You get, but we're also going to see what has happened to all of those things. Website authority, I talked about that. So if your website authority is high, you get, it gives you a higher chance of ranking for certain keywords. Title of image. So it's a rule of thumb that anytime you're putting an image on a site, ensure that the title of that image is carries the title of the content. So it's good to say that now. Spread of focus key phrase is similar to what's it called? Keyword stuffing. You get how long people spend on each page. So when people come to your page, how long do they spend reading your content? You get all of those also plays a part. Off-page SEO. You get off-page SEO and now the things you do at the back end. You get, that's where we're talking about the meta tags and some of the ways you set up the sites, or you set up the sites working together with the web developers. You understand? So these things, there are some others. There are some others. So there are some others which haven't been covered, or which were not covered here because they are quite much. So, but these are some of the important ones that you should know. All right. So here's a warning: shortcuts do not work. Like I have stated previously, shortcuts do not work. You have to be careful. Don't be a copycat. Don't go copying people's contents. Don't leave your job to AIs. There's a lot of frenzy about AI. AI this, AI that. AI did not do this, and AI. Don't leave your job of a writer to AIs, right? Stop going about, we recycle content. These are some of the things people used to do in the past. You don't want to be the person doing that. Old rules don't work anymore. So we're going to look at some of those things that have changed. Avoid cannibalism. That word was not spelled well, sorry. So cannibalism is a way where you write about one content or one topic about 3 or 4 times. It doesn't work these days anymore. So focus on unique content. These are part of the things that work in this modern era. So the new ranking factors, we're talking about topical authority. So there's something called topical authority. These are part of the ways now that Google uses to rank content. So what Google looks at now is this your website. What does the website talk about the most? Those are the kind of content Google wants to rank for you. So you remember when I talked about that example where I said, if I write a content about how economic terms that help countries grow, you understand? I write it on my site and somebody writes it on Forbes website. That Forbes website would rank because what Forbes website have been busy past years, they've been focused on business, focused on economy. Me, for a Fasthire website, for instance, is career. So Google ranking would put me above when it comes to, let's say, job content or career content as opposed to economic or business related content. So that is what is called topical authority. And also you want to write content. If you're working with a client, you want to work with them in a way that they build topical authority in a particular area. So for instance, if if they are a baking organization, you want to write a lot of content around baking. You get new baking styles, the preferred baking flour to use, the preferred time to bake in a day, the preferred way to transport your what's it called, your cakes that you baked for clients. You get best places to find clients, best cake types for January, best cake. So you're building topical authority so that when anybody is searching anything about cake, the algorithm trusts your website enough that with the way you've built content around cake, you understand, it's going to go a long way. So page responsiveness, this also works. How well does your page respond to search? Is not when people come to your website and it's taking a lot of time to load. So page interactions. Now, Google has brought back page interaction as part of the things that helps its rank brain to analyze your content. So when people are on your site, how well do they interact with your site? Do they click on different things? Is there a comment section on your website? Do people leave comments? It's similar to also what happens with YouTube videos. When YouTube videos are uploaded, you understand, do people like the video? If people are liking the video, the rank brain for Google, YouTube is similar to that of Google search. You understand? It's giving it credibility. Do people leave comments? If people are leaving comments, it's the same way if people leave comments in your web page, you get is sending signals to the algorithm. So that's page interaction. Are there links on the page? Do people click them? It's also telling the page things that are happening, and it will help it give your site more credibility. There are also some other things from the past ones that are still working. You understand? You get, so meta description are still important, but they are not all that it is. Like, it's not the way it used to be where you just try to use funny things on your meta description. No, word length now is not just about how long your word is again, is how valuable are the words in your content. So it's not just about writing 3,000 words when a 1,000 word content can do the magic. You get backlinks are also important, but not the type where you go and pay people to create backlinks. So there are a lot of clients that work with you. They say, oh, we need people that will be putting backlinks, right? So ensure that the backlinks are also connecting different pages on the site. So never you write a content for a client without putting at least 2-3 backlinks that will link that particular content you're writing to other pages on the site. And that's why if you go to Fasthire website, you analyze our links or our content, you see that they are connecting to other sites. You understand? So keyword stuffing, like I said, doesn't work anymore. You get keyword difficulty is not the way it used to be. Now, you don't just go about looking for contents that have low keywords. You're looking for contents that will help you build topical authority. So even if the keyword is difficult, it doesn't really matter. You have to write and build topical authority. So I'm going to give you, for instance, if you want to write a content, if you're, let's say, a career company, and you want to write how to write a resume, you have a content, how to write a resume. Now, it will be difficult for you to rank for this content because the guys on top, they've been in the business for long. It will be difficult for you to compete. But you cannot say you as a career company does not have this content on your site just because the keyword difficulty is high. And then you now go and be writing sample CV for, no, this is a necessary content you need to even start your journey of writing other content related to resume. So it's not only about the keyword difficulty now, it's the topical authority you want to build. You want to build a topical authority around these keywords. Oh my God. Okay, so I think we've lost my system. All right, perfect. So the new ranking factor. So it's not just about stuffing your keywords, like I was saying. You understand? You want to now be doing the right things the right way. We would still look at some of those things by next class. You understand? And in the following class. So other things, I think. Okay, sorry, I was here. I was still showing you guys from the old things that used to work. I'm still trying to point out some of them that still work, right? So keyword stuffing doesn't work anymore. You don't just go around stuffing your keywords in everywhere in the content. No, that's why even when we're training, we said for a 1,000 word content, you just need your keywords maybe like 4 times. You understand? So, but before you see that people used to spread, they will scatter it all across. You understand? Sometimes it becomes a distraction as opposed to helping you achieve what you want to achieve. Title of image in content is still very much important. You need to be, like I said, you need to ensure that the title of your image, the images you're putting on this thing carries the key phrase. So for instance, if you're putting an image, let's say the name is the description of this thing is people shaking hands, right? And the content you're writing is about interview. You can just name it people shaking hand during an interview, right? Now that keyword interview is also in your key phrase and is also now in the title of the image. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir, it does.
All right. So off-page SEO also works. The things you do behind, which are when you're doing your setting up, the kind of template you choose is also important for your SEO, because if your page is not scannable, if when you publish a blog, the texts are all jumbled up, it's going to affect your ranking factor. You understand? So you want to be sure that your page, the templates you use for your site is easy to read. It's when you set up different blog posts, people who come to read it don't find it difficult to read, right? So off-page SEO still works till date. So okay, so let me just do a brief search. This on my what's it called? This on my system has gone, so it would have been easier to do this. But how am I going to do this so that it's going to be easy? So I want us to do a couple of searches. and then we're going to analyze and see some of the contents that are ranking on the top pages on Google search, and then we will just analyze some of the reasons why they are ranking. If my system was on and that tool I was using was active, it would have made everything so much easier. But now that we're here, so somebody give me a search phrase. Let's start. Give me a search phrase. So now we're analyzing, so you on your own now, you need to start learning how to analyze some of the ranking factors. So we're done with talking. Let's do practicals. Who is giving me a key phrase?
How to relocate to Canada.
All right. How to relocate to Canada. Should we add from Nigeria? Okay, let's do from Nigeria. All right. So I've done this search, how to relocate from. Okay, so I think I'm going to. How are you people seeing my screen? Is it on portrait now?
Yes, portrait.
Yes,
is way better.
Okay, this portrait is way better.
Yes.
The landscape was disturbing. Oh, I didn't
Yes.
even know. Okay, okay. So now this is search, right? This, you can see the first site that came up, how to relocate to Canada from Nigeria. This particular site is coming up because it has it's written in a way that it creates a step by step. You understand? So number one, provision nominee program. Number two, family sponsorship. So the algorithm just went to that site, picks. So even without opening it, it has showed you 7 ways to relocate. Are you getting it now? So even without talking much, and also you find out that from the website URL, look around where you have the title of this thing, just a bit on top, you see iasservices.org.uk. You understand? That also looks like a travel abroad website. You understand? So it means that that website has built topical authority when it comes to travel abroad. Do you get it now? And please respond. Let me be sure that you're following.
Yes, we're following.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. And it's also great. So because anything you miss now, it will be difficult for you, right? So the other two, this is sponsored. This is from canadavisa.com, but it's sponsored. You see sponsored, so it's an ad. These two are ads. So, but those are not our concern. We want to see the ones that are ranking normally. You understand? So the second website that is ranking with normal SEO is how you can immigrate to Canada from Nigeria. This is from cicnews.com, right? This content was written 29th November 2023. This other one we checked was written 17th May 2024. So it also shows that recency is a more part of the reason that is making this content rank in number 1. How recent is the information? Because the algorithm does not want to go and be showing you content from 2022 when you're looking for because the ideas or the processes might have changed in 2024. Do you get it now? So recency is part of the things. So you can now see that even though we did not discuss recency as part of the ranking factors, because like I said, then there are some that we'll mention, some of them will learn them along the way. So recency is now among the reasons why this content is ranking. The topical authority of this site is part of the reasons why this content is ranking. So if you check these other ones, you can see this one is November, you get 2023. This one was written in January 2024, but it was also written by that same organization, E.E.A.T service. The content that is ranking number 3. The other content that is ranking there is from canadavisa.com, but it was written in July 2023. The rest you're not seeing is video. The next one is written October 2023. The next one is from Nairaland, right? A post that was made in 2024. Then the other one is Quora. So if you as a content writer is giving this kind of content, it now shows that recency is part of the thing. So this is, if you look at this particular one, I don't know if you guys can see this one. This one I just click now. It's this one here. This one. I'm trying to bring out something from it. So this one here, this particular one. So you can see that it was written 2nd August 2024. The other one is in 2022. So if you're to write this content, you can see that most of the content at the top were old or are old content. So you attack it from a recency part. You can now change your own title from how to relocate to Canada from Nigeria. You can now write your content to be how to relocate to Canada from Nigeria in 2024. Now you add in 2024. By the time you add this 2024 and write your own content, you might have a better competitive edge to rank, you understand, than when you just write. Are you seeing even this one? You will knock off, when you write that, you will knock off all these guys. So it's just that this is from a Canada embassy. That's why I see here. If it's a normal website, it would have been knocked off. You understand? It would have been knocked off because it's not following the recency. So that is for this. Can somebody give us another search query? Let's analyze. Somebody should give us another search query. Let's analyze.
Best shoes for, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Best shoes
Okay, for females under the age of 25.
Under 35?
Under 25.
Under 25. So for this kind of content, you get more of e-commerce. You get more of e-commerce sites, but that's because they also have sponsored, and also because maybe this particular search query, can you recall the kind of search query that this falls under? We have four content types. Can you recall what content type this falls under? We have navigational content. We have what other content again?
We have educational content.
We have what else again? Informational is informational. We have informational, navigational. What again?
We have transactional content
And what else?
Listicle content.
No, that. So this falls under commercial content, right? These are contents that people do when they are in a buying position or they are trying to make buying decision, right? You are trying to make buying decision. So contents like this, you get contents like women's sneakers under a certain amount. The algorithm predicts it that this person is trying to buy something. So that is why you see e-commerce, like I predicted, you see more of e-commerce sites. So it's e-commerce sites that would, if you're just a regular blog, the e-commerce guys will first usurp you. So as you can see, most of the sites you're going to see is e-com. So your regular, so that's that type of content. You can see that most of the content that are ranking here is being championed or is being conquered by e-commerce. So some of the ranking factors that is making this content or the content on the first page here rank is the type of site. So the type of site has to be an e-commerce. So it also gives you an idea to say that, or to understand that if you want to write the content like best prices for cakes in Port Harcourt, right? Even if you're not an e-commerce, you must either be a food service website. You must either be a food service website if you want to do well with that content over time. Even if you do well for the content now, any year or any time a food service content decides to write on that content, that food service website will rank you. This is also some of the things you need to understand. Even sometimes you need to also be educating your clients. There are contents they should go for. They've not written it to, there might be people ranking for it. That's why in the past, who is that on mute yourself, please. So in the past, we used to say, oh, keyword, once the keyword difficulty, we will remove our hand. But now we've come to understand that whether keyword difficulty or no keyword difficulty, if the website writing or ranking for that particular site does not have topical authority in that topic, in that discussion area, write it to file in your own area, you're going to outrank them. So let's take the last example for the night. Who is going to give us the last key phrase? Who is giving us the last? You've already spoken. Somebody else.
Okay.
Importance of going solar.
So importance of going solar. So again, this kind of a topic, you can also see that it's going to be dominated by websites of energy companies, renewable energy companies, and engineering companies and the like. So your regular blogs will not just come and be writing this thing. It now where that E.E.A.T and E.E.A.T falls in. So some of these contents, the last two content we've written, what is championing them is that E.E.A.T, the authoritativeness of that site, the expertise of that site, and the trustworthiness. That site that Google is going to show, can they trust that site that the information about that content coming from that site is trustworthy, and they can only trust it based on the authority that site has built in that content and in that topic and related topics. You understand? So this is from energy.gov, an government energy website. You understand? bbjump.ng. If you go deep, you will find out this energy Hammond Solar. You can see Energy Sage. You can see all these are energy companies. You understand? All these are energy companies. So the ranking factors that is championing this or helping this phone grow is the authoritativeness and the trustworthiness. You understand? So, but there's something with ranking. Even if you want to write importance of going solar, there are ways you can tweak your key phrase. For instance, you have a client who wants to write on the content importance of going solar, but if they compete for it, they might not rank. So you can tweak such content. You can try another method. You can twist the question to why solar energy is important, or importance of going solar in 2024. You could use recency, or you can say top 5 reasons. These are other ways you can tweak it. Top 5 reasons to go solar in 2024. So as a content writer, you also do not limit yourself just to the key phrase you were giving. Sometimes the key phrase you were giving If you write on it, your content will not be seen. You understand? You try to tweak it and see how you can compete better for it. You understand? So other ranking factors, yeah. Okay. First, okay. So that's it. Other things that support SEO, your email marketing. So the fact that you're doing SEO, you or your client should not also forget the place of email marketing. Social media ads also help in your branding, influencer collaboration, paid ads, branded podcast, community brand events, all of these also help in your SEO. So let me just explain how email marketing helps your SEO. So it's also when you run email marketing, let's say your company or you have an email list and you write the content and then you send the link or you just tell your community about it, your email community about it, and then drop the link. And then they visit that page. Now, that activity they are doing, so far Google has indexed that page. The activities they are carrying out on that page, whether it was Google algorithm that brought them or not, Google is monitoring it. As they click on that page to go to another page, you get maybe there are other relevant resources. Those movements are being observed by the Google crawlers. And the crawlers are noticing all the activities happening there, and they're also seeing, okay, there's something here that human beings like. Let me see if I can test it out, right? Another way this also helps in SEO is that when you send to your email community and your email community find it relevant, some of them will repost it on their pages. You get some of them can repost on their status. Some of them can go on social media platforms and repost it. Now, all those things all those links they're posting on social media platforms, the algorithms, remember those social media platforms to our website, the algorithms are also reading, like when you post it on your page, algorithms will crawl it and come back to that page, you understand, and go to that page that the content is coming from. If about a couple of people have shared it on different social media platforms, you get the algorithm is tracking and seeing, oh, what is this content that people are reposting? Is beginning to give, or it will begin to give that content some ranking factor or some benefit of the doubt to say, okay, these some people are sharing it on social media because people share only what is helpful on social media. They don't just share anything on social media. Do you get? So the algorithms are also intelligent machines that they're trying to monitor or model how people behave. So social media ads are also helpful because you also drive social media traffic to your site, which also kind of behaves similar with the email marketing. So I won't spend much time on it. The in influencer collaboration, you get you can collaborate with an influencer and the influencer just gives a shout out to your website. Some people can just quickly, because of that shout out, just go on Google and do a quick search about your brand. Let's say Fasthire does a collaboration with, let me say, Sabinus, and Sabinus just gives us a shout out on social media. People will start going to Google and start searching what is this site. And the more people are searching our name and going to our site, the algorithms are also taking track of all those events and saying, oh, these one people are going to this site. A lot of people are finding relevance in it. But the algorithm might not know that, oh, a certain influencer gave us a shout out. You understand? And again, depending on when it will reach the people or whoever is going to reach, because, even if, let's say, for instance, we work with an influencer, say Sabinus, and he did the shout out today, it doesn't mean it's everybody in his connection that will get it today. Some people will see the video today, some people 3 days later. So a couple of days or weeks, it can just be sending traffic, or people can just be doing all those things intuitively that will be sending traffic to us. So the other ones are also kind of similar, so I wouldn't spend much time on it. So what is the future of SEO? The future of SEO is in people first content. We now know that AIs are here. AIs, people are busy making searches on AI. People go, instead of going to Google now, you can just use maybe your Meta AI or Chat GPT or your Gemini to ask questions and get answer. So, but to Google and other search engine, what is going to make them stand out is the people first content that websites are writing. So that is also why AI contents are also going to be dangerous, because if what you are writing as a blogger or as a content writer is similar to what anybody can just go to the chat generative sites to get answers from, then they are failing in their duty. Their duty is because they can help gather human first content, those fresh ideas, fresh contents, fresh perspective that have not yet been shared or expanded on the social media. That's what would make search engines still regain its relevance. AIs can always use what is already existing to be giving answers to people. But for content writers, can bring in new perspectives that are currently happening, ensure current happenings in our present day, especially the one that has perspective. The search engines will be slow to gather that information. So where search engines are going is people first. You're thinking of the people first, and then unique and cutting edge stuff. What are those new things? So when you do a search on how to go to Canada from Nigeria, you can see why the algorithms are favoring contents that were written recently. Why? Because they know that what used to exist in 2022 or 2023 shouldn't be what is still existing now. So they are looking for those new cutting edge stuff. So this is a summary of the future of AI. So thank you so much for this. And I will take your questions right now. Any questions for me? Are we there? Any questions for me?
None for now. I think
Yes,
really.
Thank you very
Yeah, I
much.
don't have any.
Okay. Uche has a question. Uche,
I have
okay,
a
let's hear your
question.
question. Yeah, Uche, go ahead with your
Okay, thank
question.
you for the question. I wanted to
All
make
right.
inquiries about this SEO ranking and everything you've taught this night. Does it apply to, foundations, NGO, and then in the field of special needs?
Yes, it does. Every NGOs, foundation, yeah, it does. Everywhere. So in terms, okay, ask your other question before I
Okay,
expand.
because you mentioned like that other search you made on energy, and you said it's more of companies, that is engineering companies that the content will rank for. So does it apply to NGOs as well, or I don't
Yeah, there are certain
I
conversations that, yes, there are certain conversations that are best suited and is NGOs that would rank for those kind of content. You get, it depends on what your site has built topical authority around. You understand? If you haven't built topical authority around that, so it's not just a matter of, oh, if you're an NGO, have that site or the NGO website over time be creating content around those kind of conversations, because the algorithms are like they collect codes, or they store information. So let's say, for instance, there's a first content you wrote, there's rice, you wrote another content beans, you wrote another content yam, you wrote another content potato. By the time you're writing the 10th content and you're having plantain, the algorithm will just automatically categorize your site under food. So if after a while you leave food and you now start writing another thing, it will not take you serious. until it will take it a while again. Maybe you start, because you can train the algorithm, you start retraining it to say, okay, I don't write only food, oh, I write also about something else, you understand? But then it's also going to make you, because then you either have to stop totally writing about food if you want to leave food totally and now go elsewhere, because that's your domain. It has tied your domain to food. So you will be writing other content, it will not even be going anywhere, because where the algorithm has kept your site is in this place. And you now, you don't want to agree for the algorithm don't want to agree for you. You'll be writing your content, is not going anywhere. So what you can do is now the technical SEO, and that's now the technical part that is not, this class cannot contain. You have to now go back to your whole site makeup and restructure things, recode, even the information on the site, you might have to even rewrite it, but that's beyond this class. But the simple part of what you're saying, those special needs, stuff like that, that site must be sure to have been creating content. If they have not and they want to start ranking for that, they need to start now to be writing content relating to those stuff. And you have to be doing that over a period of time. The algorithm will now study your site and the kind of things you put out, and then will not put you in the right, what's it called, category. You have to recategorize the site. You get even the blog session. If he has multiple categories, you have to really identify, oh, this category is special needs. This category is helping hands. This category is, you get all those kind of stuff.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right. Is there any question?
Yes, sir. I also have a question, sir.
Please go ahead, Raji.
All right, sir. You were explaining this white hats SEO when my network went off, so I didn't hear the explanation you made on that. And then, secondly, I'm trying to ask, when, let's say, a site have this topical authority you are talking of, does that mean no matter how optimized your content is, it will not outrank them?
Well, so it doesn't mean it will not attract them. You get the topical authority is just you. So topical authority on its own is you training the algorithm. Topical authority is a way for you to train the algorithm. You're training the algorithm. When you keep, if you're a law firm, are you hearing me now?
Yes, sir, I can hear you very well.
If you're a law firm and today you write about law, tomorrow you write about agriculture on your own site, next tomorrow you write about business, you're confusing the algorithm. Is this same thing, here's an example, this is the same thing that works on LinkedIn search engine and some of the other search engines on some of these social platforms we use. When you keep creating content, the algorithm ranks your page or your profile under a specific area. As I am now, there are certain things I'll just say, and the algorithm will pop up question for me and say, answer this question, you're an expert in this field. After every 1 month, I used to get a pop-up. They'll say, do you have any vacancy to share? Why? Because over time, I have been putting out job vacancies. So they know that this particular page used to, or this particular profile used to have job vacancies. You understand? You tell you that, oh, this particular page used to write about SEO. Let's ask him this question if he has answer. That same way, that's how you train the algorithm. So it's not, you building topical authority is not whether you're going to attract somebody or not. Is you first training the algorithm to know that in this area, if you're finding content in this area, you're looking for us. Do you get it now? So there are people that they have higher ranking than you, that one is normal. You get, if you write on the same topic with them, if you're in the same industry, they might outrank you depending on some other factors. You might outrank them depending on some other factors. But the essence of this class is so that you understand those basic factors first. And that is why we talked about some of them. We talked about the particular keyword or key phrase. We talked about the E.E.A.T. We talked about the recency of the content. That is why even when you write a content or when you're working with clients, it is not a one-time, once you write, you forget it for life. No. Those contents that are bringing traffic to a particular site, they need revision every year. You understand? After a while, go back. Is there new information that can be added to this? In another class, I'm going to be talking about how to review sites that have stopped ranking for some keywords. What are the ways you can review those sites and revive them? This is a big money maker. You can go to some sites that have lost ranking. Tell them you have a checklist you can use to check some of their pages, revive it. You give, if there are writers, you tell them do this, add this. You get, before you know, in 3 months, their traffic will start coming back. You pay big money. You get that information took me years to build and took my team a long period of time. You can, anything you see that class 3 and 4, if you have not understood it, anything we discuss there, come back and ask tomorrow, because if you mix the foundation of class 3 and 4, it's going to affect you. It's also the same way that if you miss what I'm discussing in this class, it will worry you in the remaining part. Start. Go back, study these things. I was sending somebody a message. I sit back and study. He's telling me the videos are 1 hour long, and I was just like, I say, the videos are 1 hour long. That's your problem. Some people are even looking for comprehensive information. You're seeing the one that is comprehensive and you're complaining. So ask questions. Don't look at there's nobody, after everybody knows how their own knowledge level is. If you do, there's nothing you're not understanding. Ask questions. Don't look at whether they will think this thing you don't know. Ask your question, please. All right, madam, please go on with your question.
Thank you, Mr. Richard.
Yeah,
I want to
thank
say,
you, ma'am.
God bless you. I really appreciate the fact that you are taking us through step by step. I have 2 questions. First, I'd like to understand how you apply internal link versus external link in your
Content.
write-up.
Yes.
So that
Okay.
one will not give one to the other.
Okay.
In content, yes, content.
Okay.
Then my second question is, you were highlighting sponsored
Post.
websites.
Yes.
So how do I identify a sponsored website and a website that is from an expert?
Okay. All right. So the first one.
How do I identify?
I've gotten the question. Are you done? Did she lose her network?
I think so.
Okay, so we'll just wait for her.
No.
In the meantime, okay, you're done with your question. So while she's trying to resolve that, I have dropped the link to the group, to the WhatsApp group. So everybody can join. We're supposed to only be 16 in that group. That's 14 from you guys, myself, and the Fasthire admins number or phone number, yeah. So everybody join the group. I have dropped the link now. Join the group. Also sign in. So that said, I'm hoping she's here. Madam Adetutu, I'm hoping you're here. So your first question, you said how to add external backlink and internal backlink. Because my system is off right now, I will not be able to show you that because I can't do that on the phone. Not like I can't do it, but the phone will make a system will be easier if I can just open a Word doc or a Google Doc. So remind me tomorrow when we're doing the revision so that I can show you that. So the only difference is that internal backlinks are links that connect other pages on your site with particular content you're writing or a particular page, while external backlinks are the one that just connects or takes people to another website that is not your own. So tomorrow, remind me, and I'm going to show you that. For the sponsored post, it's just the same way people run ad. You know, when you're going through social media, you will see an ad. You understand? So you can be making search, and there are people who have run ad through Google, and Google can show that ad to you. So you just see sponsored. It will be written sponsored on it. So let me see. We did a search. We did a search, right, that showed us that sponsored. Shebi it's Kelvin that asked that question. That showed us the sponsor, this thing. Is Kelvin here?
Yeah, I'm here.
So I forgot what was that search we did that time that brought up that
How to relocate to Canada?
is it how to relocate to Canada? Madam Adetutu, are you here?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
Okay. So I'm going to just share my screenshot link. I hope I can even see that. So this is how to, let me see how to write. Let me see if this one. Okay, so if you can look at this search I'm doing now, you see sponsored on that top. Are you seeing that sponsored, Madam Adetutu? On top that first page that is there, you see sponsored by the
Yes,
top
I can
left.
see.
All right. If you go to the second one, you also see sponsored. So all those two contents are being run by ads. But if you go to this third one now, you will not see sponsored. So these ones are normal. These ones are ranking on normal SEO. So sometimes these particular pages, these two pages, why ads are also important is that if they've run this ad through Google, now this is another trade secret. Some people use ad to boost a particular page. Like if a page, you want it to be ranking for a particular search phrase, you can run ad on that page with that keyword. Now, after a period of time that you've run that ad with that particular keyword, people are clicking on it and going to your page. As much as it's an ad, the Google algorithm is also reading what people are, because for people to be able to click to your page through that key phrase, it also means that that page is relevant. One. So if there's a scorecard the Google algorithm is giving to give you 1 mark for that, when people are on that on your now on that on your page, did your page load fast? If the page loaded fast, let's just assume the algorithm will give you another mark. Now that people are on that your page, did they find the page responsive? Like, did they spend time on the page? Because remember, if people are spending time on a particular page, it means they are taking time to read the information. And if they are taking time to read the information, it means they are finding the information relevant. Is that not correct? Now, if they are finding time, if they are spending time there, what the algorithm automatically calculates is that that page is relevant. So the algorithm will not give you another mark again for relevant. It will not say, okay, 1 mark again. Now, on that page, are there links there? Did people click on the links to go to another page? You understand? If people found relevance in that page, that they moved from that page to another page on that same website, it will give you another mark. You understand? Now, if that page you have, are there other websites that are linked to it? If there are, the algorithm will give you another mark. So there are a combination of different things. So after a period of time, when you have used ad to boost this page, you find out that it can now help that page boost up. The time you stop running the ad on it, that page will still be ranking for that keyword. It's a trade secret. I'm not supposed to give it to you for free, but people do it. You can become an SEO writer to a point. You can do it with your clients. You get, when their page, a particular page they want to rank for, or a particular keyword they want to rank for, they can run ad on it for a couple of days, a couple of months. After they stop ranking, they stop running the ad, they'll still be ranking for that key phrase. Okay, I think I'm done exposing secrets for tonight. All right, so tomorrow, like I said, remind me for that other one, and we will treat how you can put internal and external backlinks. Does that make sense? All right, thank you so much, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. I have dropped the link. I don't know who is not here. I think 2 people are not here. 2 people are not here. If my brain serves me right, I don't know what happened to them. 2
Yes,
people
sir.
are not
2 people
here.
are not here.
2 people are not here. Who can identify who is not here? Where is Fashina? It's Fashina that is not here. Fashina is not here, Abi. You get. So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you
Nice,
so
sir.
much,
So
sir.
who could identify the other person that is not on this call? Somebody else that is not here.
Somebody said it's Moise. I think it's Moise.
Yes,
Someone said it's Moise.
Fashina is still Muiz, but there's one other person.
Oh, okay.
But no problem. All right, good night.
All right, sir.